6 practices the Bible forbids that you probably do. The Bible, the most impactful book in history, has teachings that span the centuries, guiding the lives of millions of people. But do we follow everything it says? Many of the practices mentioned in its pages are seen as outdated, while others have been reinterpreted in the light of modernity. Today, we're going to delve into 6 customs that the Bible disapproves of, but that many people continue to practice. Before we start, leave your opinion in the comments. Do you believe that we should follow everything written in the Bible, even today? 1 degree, eating pork. In the book of Leviticus 11, God instructs the Israelites about foods considered pure and impure. Among them, pork is mentioned as an unclean animal. The text says, "You shall not eat the flesh of these animals or touch their carcasses." This prohibition made sense in the context of the time, when the consumption of pork was associated with health and hygiene issues. However, over the centuries, this rule was dropped by most Christians. Today, dishes such as bacon, feijoada, and ribs are among many people's favorites. Can you imagine giving up these foods? Curiously, some religions such as Islam and Judaism still follow this guideline to the letter. But is this rule still relevant in modern times? 2 degrees, divorce. The Bible sees marriage as a sacred and eternal bond. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verses 10 and 11, the Apostle Paul says, "I command the married, not I, but the Lord, that the wife not depart from her husband. But if she departs, let her remain unmarried." At that time, marriage was seen as indissoluble, and divorce was only allowed in very specific cases. Today, however, divorce rates have risen considerably, and separation is often seen as a solution to frayed relationships. What do you think? Is divorce a necessity of modern times, or does it go against God's plan? Let us know what you think in the comments. 3 degrees, cutting your hair and beard in certain ways. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 27 contains a curious prohibition. "You shall not cut off the ends of your heads in the round, nor damage the tip of your beard." This rule was given to the Israelites to differentiate them from the cultural practices of other nations. At that time, the shape of haircuts and beards had religious and cultural meanings. Some pagan tribes, for example, used specific styles as a way of worshiping their gods. By forbidding these practices, God wanted to establish the unique identity of His people. Today, choosing a haircut or beard style is something personal and almost always related to fashion or preference. Do we still carry any spiritual symbolism in our choices of appearance? 4 degrees, getting tattoos. "You shall not make any lacerations in your flesh for the dead, nor shall you make any marks on your body." This is the verse from Leviticus chapter 19 verse 28, often quoted against tattoos. In the biblical context, body markings were linked to pagan practices, such as paying homage to the dead or to strange gods. The intention was to protect the Israelites from adopting customs that would detract from their faith. Today, tattoos are seen as art and personal expression. They tell stories, pay homage to moments or people, and, for many, have nothing to do with spirituality. Do you think tattoos can still be interpreted as something contrary to biblical teachings, or do you believe they are a legitimate form of expression? 5 degrees, working on Saturdays. In Exodus chapter 31 verses 14 and 15, we find a clear command. 6 days you shall work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. This practice, known as keeping the Sabbath, is one of the 10 commandments and was taken very seriously. Today, keeping the Sabbath is common among Adventists and Jews, but for most people, the weekend has become a period of rest or extra work. The frenetic pace of modern life has changed the meaning of the Sabbath as a day of spiritual rest. Do you think we should revive this practice, or has the concept of day of rest already been adapted for today? 6 degrees, fake news, gossip, and slander. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 16 has a teaching that is still relevant today. Do not spread slander among your people. This instruction applies perfectly to the digital age, where fake news, gossip, and misinformation spread in a matter of seconds. Sharing a lie can have serious consequences, such as damaging someone's reputation or even causing mass panic. The challenge today is to think before hitting the share button. Have you ever fallen for fake news or spread something without checking its veracity? Now share it with us. What did you think about each topic covered? Is it really an abomination in God's eyes today? These teachings show us that the Bible still has a lot to say, even in modern times. Some commandments may seem outdated, but they carry profound lessons about values, respect, and faith. Now we want to know from you, which of these points caught your attention the most? Which did you already know and which was new? Leave it in the comments and share it with your friends to continue this discussion. Let's work together to understand how to balance tradition and modernity. If you liked this reflection, don't forget to like, comment, and share this content.